And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Fans in the Pros, a show that should be called Mike and the Man from Missouri. We're going to change the name to that because that's where Deuce McAllister lives. He joins us from Missouri as he continues to work at the SEC Network, and I'm in studio, and I wish I was beginning with great news, but I'm not. And Deuce, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No, you're not. Not with me being in Missouri. That is true 100%.
Oh, yeah. All right. Double bad news.
Yeah, and the other part is looking at that injury report and look at the players that are out.
I don't think I've ever seen an injury report. Like the Eagles' injury report is kind of normal. It kind of started at one place and it moved up and went from maybe did not practice to limited to full, maybe a questionable. The Saints kind of got worse from Wednesday on, and so let's just kind of take it one at a time. We'll begin with Alvin Kamara, the knee injury. He is out, did not practice today. He was limited on Wednesday. Coach Payton was asked today, well, did Alvin suffer some kind of setback from limited to not practicing? And Coach was like, no, there was no setback, but he is out. And so I guess we'll tie Alvin in with the situation on the offensive line. Ryan Ramczyk, the right tackle, is out. He's played every snap this year. He's only missed one game since he came to the Saints. The left tackle is out, Terron Armstead, and Andres Pete remains on injured reserve. So that's three of your starting five, and then Alvin Kamara. And you take it from there. You fill in the rest of the 3 hours. I'll talk to you on Sunday.
Woo! We talked about Sean Payton and the coaching job and try to figure out, he beat Green Bay without this player or this player. This may be the best coaching job that he's ever done. If he is able to pull this one off, this may be the best coaching job that he has done just because of the sheer number of players that are not available. I mean, and you talk about players that are not available, you're also talking about all-pro players, and more so on one side of the football. I think that's probably the most critical point. If it was spread out, offense, a little bit of defense, you take a special teams player or two away, you may have a point. But when you're missing, and obviously we know Michael Thomas has been out the complete year, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, your left tackle, your right tackle, your left guard, it's like, man, yeah, good luck with that.
Well, if there was an upgrade and a bright spot, it was Taysom Hill, who had the foot injury that happened in Tennessee. He didn't practice all week, was limited today. He is the only one that was an upgrade, and he's questionable for Sunday. And you did mention it, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players, 2 of them are defense. Tano Passignon, who's the team leader, tied with sacks, 4 with Cam Jordan. He's out. And also defensive tackle Malcolm Roach, who was inactive last week. But the rest of them, offensive players. And so the question would then be, I guess the tough part, we don't know the situation with Taysom's foot. Really? They just haven't had a lot like this, right? When you think about it, this season they've either been out or in. We haven't had a lot of game time decisions.
Well, no, a couple. You go back and look at Lattimore. Lattimore early on with his with that wrist deal, he was probably kind of a true game time decision. Let's look and see what he looks like once we work him out in the morning. That's probably the same thing with Taysom. And, another indicator when you talk about it is since you are traveling, normally there's been situations where you go ahead and rule him out on Saturday. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. This may be a true situation, like you talk about a game time decision based off of how he feels. How does that foot feel? You're talking about playing on that surface up there in Philly, and what will the weather be like for that foot? So a lot goes into when you look at that situation like that. But, man, it's where will the plays be made? That's the question.
Well, let's say hypothetically, and I hope it doesn't happen, to say he does not play. He's your backup quarterback. So then Ian Book, who's not taking a snap this year, becomes the number 2. And quite frankly, I don't know who your emergency 3 is anymore, because it's not Alvin and it's not Ty, maybe Marquez Callaway. Again, you hope you never have to ask this question. But if he doesn't play, automatically Ian Book becomes your active number 2. He's been active. But man, it's a domino effect, a trickle down with this offense right now. It's man, I agree 100% with how you began the show that if they are able to go and we haven't even mentioned who they're playing. Quite frankly, it doesn't even matter at this point. We're just talking about what the Saints are right now, irrespective of who they're playing. But they're playing actually a team that's playing pretty good football in the Eagles with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. But really, it's more about the Saints at this point.
No, I agree 100% when you talk about it's the Saints and, can they go out and execute? We talked about with this team how that margin of error has not been really big. Well, now the error is, it's basically gone. And so at this point, it becomes, all right, can you create? Can you create an extra possession? Can you hit on some explosive plays? Can you go and steal a possession? I mean, those are all things that this team will have to go out there and do. And, normally you say, all right, well, they'll walk in and they could win by 10. I don't know if that's necessarily the case this time. I mean, you're talking about a close game where you've got to just basically be able to steal it at the end or be able to defend it where you can win it at the end just because from a talent standpoint, you don't have some of the elite talent guys that could get you over that edge where you can go out there and kind of make a mistake or two and get away with it. I don't know if you can go out there and make a mistake or two with the guys that you have here, particularly on offense being down, and get away with some of those things.